The Story of Peter Tchaikovsky. Chapter 1. On, Stardust! On, Comet, on! The Cossack guardsmen, 100 strong, urged their fiery steeds into the icy courtyard of their master, Ilya Tchaikovsky. Strange to be called so early in the morning, with the May sun blinking sleepy red eyes at the bleak countryside. Raw and cold it was in the little mining town of Votkinsk, on the edge of Asia. Snow crystals glistened on rough cobbles, and white drifts covered the land as far as the eye could see. The horses pawed the ground and whinnied impatiently. "Steady, boy!" The head rider pulled hard on the reins of his restless black stallion. "The master comes soon." Hardly were the words spoken than the door of the great house swung open. The men wheeled to attention as Mine Inspector Tchaikovsky looked swiftly over the fur-hatted group. A warm smile lighted his handsome face. "My good men," said he briskly, "you will rejoice with me to hear the news that I bring you. God has blessed us with a fair little son. We have already named him Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky." With a ringing shout, the men threw their caps high in the air. "Peter Ilyich!" their calls echoed in the frosty morning. "Long life to Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky!" Around the courtyard they galloped at full speed, hoofs striking sparks on rough cobbles. At the deafening din, the household of servants ran to the windows to watch the gay parade. Ilya Tchaikovsky laughed merrily and joined his 2-year-old Nikolay indoors, whose short nose was pressed hard against the pane, eyes round at the spectacle inside. "A fine salute to your new little brother, yes?" Father Tchaikovsky patted the small head and swung off for another look at the tiny newcomer. No baby could have been born into a more loving household. Beautiful Mother Tchaikovsky shook her head in dismay as aunts, uncles, cousins, and an army of servants hovered over him, obeying his every wish through the long, bright months. "Careful," she cautioned. "We must not spoil this lovely child." But it was difficult not to spoil elfin, blue-eyed Peter, who loved horses more than anything else in his small world. As soon as he could walk about on his short legs, straight to the courtyard he took himself. "Midnight, come!" he called at the top of his voice to his father's favorite mount. Ilya Tchaikovsky was amused at the small boy, looking so stern as he gave his command. But more surprised he was to see the great black animal moving slowly to the tiny hand for the big lump of sugar. Each day, after seeing that all went well at the mines, Ilya hurried home back to find fair-haired Peter waiting patiently on the top step. "Always ready for the ride," he chuckled, sweeping the little one to the saddle. "Away then, brave horseman, away to the moon!" With a shout of joy, Peter clutched the reins and slapped them with all his might, urging the steed to a gallop. Never was there fear in the bright eyes, no matter how fast the pace. "Oh-ho, a splendid rider we shall have," laughed Ilya, watching the flying locks and bright cheeks. "Some day you shall take charge of the men at the mines, my little Petya. Miles and miles you shall ride to your heart's content." There was always a storm of tears when the gallop was at an end. No one could bring him comfort but his lovely mother. "Come, little one, we shall have some music," she coaxed, wiping the small face with her perfumed kerchief. The sounds were magic. To her sprightly, simple melodies at the piano, Peter and Nikolay flew to the center of the room, dancing as fast as their feet would go. "More, more!" called Peter the moment the music stopped. Everyone gathered around, aunts, cousins, and servants, to watch the small boy, his face alight with joy. While weary Nikolay lay stretched on the floor, Peter tried the Russian dances, difficult indeed, even for grown-ups. "Bravo! Bravo!" called the audience, clapping and swaying to the merry tunes. "It is enough now." Mother Tchaikovsky left the piano, her fingers aching from playing the same melodies over and over again. I declare the child will be a dancer some day.